We're back and we're gonna be doing a pasta sauce. Like, it's a fresh tomato sauce. um I can't pronounce the Italian version exactly, but I will probably get to that at some point. Now we got our tomatoes. It has been washed from the previous video. We got garlic, basil, white wine with a little bit of vinegar and salt, some oil, and we're going to get started by peeling these. Okay, let me sharpen my knife. Because I like to make sure it's sharpened a little. Now, when it comes to this, you're gonna wanna smash it. Not like completely, but like just tap it so that way you can take the skin off a little bit easier. And kind of like this. It pops right out. With some you may have to try again because it's like depending on size and whatnot. Oh, that one just flew right out. And then we're gonna slice it instead of dice it. So we want to cut this little tiny part off with this because it's the roughest part. And it's not gonna digest well, neither will it cook to soften. So it's best to get rid of those ends. Okay, so discard that part, and you're gonna slice small so it can cook a little easier. And then I just noticed that there's this one here. Kind of repeat with this one here. So you're gonna have this. Now with this, you're not going to cut. You're just gonna pop it right off. You don't want ones that is very, very brown and almost dead like. So So you're gonna do it like this. It smells really, really potent. That's really good. That's a good sign that it's healthy. Now this one I will have to get rid of because it's mostly brown. I'll keep one out for a slight garnish. I'll choose this one. Well, actually, this one will do. Now with the rest of these, I like to cut it slightly smaller because I don't want to eat giant leaves in a pasta. So I've learned, even before starting my class for Culinary 101, I've learned that to roll and then you kind of lightly roll. I know it's a little different from video I saw on how to for my assignment, but it'll break down a little bit easier, I feel. Okie dokie. Now let's start with pan. Kind of heat it a little bit. You're gonna take some oil. Just a good amount, not too much. That should be good. Heat up a little bit and spin around a little to coat the entire pan. Then you're going to put these fresh tomatoes into the pan. I don't like splashing grease, so that's why I put it in like that. It is slightly dangerous because you can burn yourself, but that's takes practice to not do so. You're gonna let it cook. It might have been a slightly too much oil. Then again, it could be just a pan on how big it is. You're gonna let them blister, which that's showing us a good sign that it's gonna start cooking those tomatoes. Then once this starts to blister, I'll put in some white wine and cook off the alcohol. So we'll come right back. So this is kind of blistered a little bit. And that's a good sign. Go ahead and put some red wine. Let that cook a bit. And then you want it to boil a little to cook off the alcohol. Well, just cook it off a little bit and then let it simmer with some garlic and basil and like as you let it simmer, you crush it. And sorry, it's starting to bubble a little, which is very good. Around this time, I'm going to see if it can smush just a tiny bit. It is slightly difficult because these big ones are able to smush, while the smaller ones takes their time. Okay. Be careful because alcohol is very flammable, and so is oil. Kind of help it squish a little. That one was easy. Now it's starting to become a little easier. Well, I talked too soon. There we go. It's going to soften more to crush a little more. Now we're going to take our garlic. We're going to do this a little last because it can cook a little quicker, which is why I cut it the way I cut it, because I'm cooking with it. You can see the separation of oil and the white wine vinegar. And it's going to start having its body as it cooks. And then I'll get back to you when it's getting close to being done. So, yeah. Okay, so right now it's cooking and it's starting to have its body for the sauce. It's close to reducing a little for the white wine alcohol content, and we're gonna take our little guys. And we're gonna stir that in, let it cook down. Okay, now we're going to plate as that's cooking, and I'll show you how to plate the pasta. Okay, so it's quite, we're going to take this, kind of turn, and it'll start coming together. It's kind of hard doing it one-handed, but that's okay. Check on this. It's getting that sauce consistency. That's good. Some people like to put a little extra seasoning, but this white wine vinegar has a little bit extra salt content, so that should speak its volumes itself. gonna turn that off. Actually, the one thing that I say, I don't have another pan at the moment to do that idea my teacher wanted to do, which is to cook some pasta in it. But do it the Italian way. To do, kind of turn that down. Boom. Now we do the twirling plate plating process, because it's all going to come together. Well, it's supposed to, but yeah, it's going to do all that. It's not gonna be exactly perfect, but it's quite enough. And do a double roll, since it's a lot of pasta. That's 2. It's good if you're feeding a family of a lot. Ooh, it wants to slide because it's not big enough plate, but that's okay. That's the 3rd roll. Then we're gonna place that pretty sauce on top. Get a little bit of all that veggies. Place this on the side. The watermelon. And then garnish. And here is the pasta. Now let's try it. Some people like to do the spoon and then you twirl it with a fork, but I just do it like this. God darn it. It likes to slip. Wow. I usually don't like cooking with alcohol, but since I reduced it, I can still taste it slightly, but it doesn't feel potent like alcohol would. And fresh tomatoes, never had a fresh tomato sauce. I've always bought it from stores. So this is a whole new experience. And the garlic is not overpowering the tomatoes or the basil. And I could sprinkle a little salt, but that white wine does put enough salt content to not require it. And sometimes people have to be careful with the amount of salt they intake. So this is the pasta with the fresh tomato sauce.